When you think of your refrigerator, you probably picture safety, freshness, and convenience. After all, keeping food cold slows down spoilage, it keeps bacteria in check, and it helps preserve flavor. But what if I told you that some everyday foods actually become more dangerous when stored in the fridge? Dangerous to the point where they could increase your long-term risk of cancer. It sounds dramatic, but it's not a wellness myth. There are legitimate scientific mechanisms. Food safety experts warn that certain foods, when refrigerated, can develop or convert into harmful compounds. These changes don't happen overnight. They're slow, subtle, and often connected to chemical reactions or mold growth. In this article, we'll explore 10 common foods you should avoid putting in the fridge, especially if you're concerned about cancer risk. We'll dig into how and why these risks happen, what the science says, and safer alternatives for storing these items. Disclaimer: this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor or a registered dietitian. The intention here is to inform, not to diagnose or prescribe. If you have health concerns, especially related to cancer or food safety, ask your healthcare provider. Understanding the science, why some foods become risky when refrigerated before jumping into the list. It helps to understand how refrigeration can actually increase health risks in certain cases. 1. Chemical formation during storage. Some compounds that increase cancer risk are formed or accumulate when food is stored at cold temperatures, especially when the food is later heated. A leading example is acrylamide, which can form in starchy foods, like potatoes, under certain conditions. 2. Mold and mycotoxin growth. Refrigerated food isn't immune to mold. Moisture plus low airflow can promote mold on certain foods. Some molds produce mycotoxins, which are cancer-promoting. 3. Nitrate or nitrite conversion to nitrosamines. Vegetables and other foods with nitrates may convert to nitrosamines, especially with improper storage and reheating. Nitrosamines are compounds that have been linked to cancer. 4. Protein and nutrient changes. Some foods degrade in nutrient quality or transform in ways that make them less safe or more prone to harmful compounds after refrigeration or repeated reheating. 10 foods you should avoid refrigerating. Here are 10 specific foods that you should think twice about putting in the fridge, based on the risk of developing potentially harmful compounds or mold, according to food safety experts. 1. Raw potatoes. 2. Garlic. 3. Onions, especially cut or peeled. 4. Bread. 5. Cooked rice. 6. Mushrooms. 7. Leafy greens like spinach. 8. Soy products. Tofu, soy milk. 9. Opened canned fish. 10. Mayonnaise or cream-based sauces. 1. Raw potatoes. Why it's risky. When raw potatoes are stored in the refrigerator, the cold causes their starches to convert to sugars. This process is called cold sweetening. These extra sugars can react with an amino acid called asparagine during high heat cooking, like frying or roasting. This reaction produces acrylamide, a chemical classified as a probable human carcinogen by several expert bodies. Studies show that storing potatoes at very low fridge temperatures, around 4°C, increases reducing sugars. This makes acrylamide formation more likely. Once acrylamide forms, long-term exposure could potentially contribute to cancer risk. What to do instead? Store potatoes in a cool, dark, humid place, like a pantry or cellar, not in the fridge. Before cooking, soak cut potatoes in room temperature water for 15–30 minutes. This reduces sugar content, which limits acrylamide formation when frying or roasting. Cook potatoes to a light golden color, not dark brown. This further reduces acrylamide production. 2. Garlic. Why it's risky. Peeled garlic stored in the fridge can quickly become moldy. Some molds that grow on garlic may produce mycotoxins, toxic compounds associated with cancer risk. Refrigeration may also encourage Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism. While botulism is more acute than cancer-related, it's still a serious food safety concern. What to do instead? Store whole garlic bulbs in a dry, cool, well-ventilated place, away from direct sunlight. Only peel garlic when you're ready to use it. If you must refrigerate peeled garlic, use it quickly, within a few days. Or consider freezing individual cloves. 3. Onions. Why it's risky. When onions, especially cut or peeled, are kept in the fridge, the cold converts their starch into sugar. This sugar buildup can feed mold growth. Some molds may produce mycotoxins, which are potential carcinogens. The added sugar can also facilitate other unwanted chemical changes. What to do instead? Store uncut onions in a cool, dark, dry pantry with good airflow. If you've cut an onion, wrap it tightly in a breathable paper towel or mesh. Use it soon. Avoid storing cut onions in the fridge for too long. 4. Bread. Why it's risky. Refrigerating bread causes it to stale faster, while staling itself isn't directly carcinogenic. Some people mistakenly reheat very stale or over-toasted bread. This increases the risk of acrylamide formation when toasting. Acrylamide is more likely to form when bread is browned or charred. What to do instead? Store bread in a bread box or paper bag on the counter. If you plan to consume within a few days, for longer storage, freeze slices, then toast from frozen when needed. When toasting, aim for a light golden color, not dark brown. 5. Cooked rice. Why it's risky. Improperly stored cooked rice can harbor Bacillus cereus, a bacteria that produces toxins. Some toxins might not be destroyed by reheating, posing serious health risks. For cancer specifically, the risk is more indirect. Repeatedly reheated rice may lead to other food safety issues. Frequent overconsumption of improperly stored carbs could contribute to metabolic problems. What to do instead? Cool cooked rice quickly, within 1 hour. Before placing it in the fridge, use airtight containers, but consume within 1-2 days. When reheating, ensure rice is steaming hot throughout. If unsure about safety, discard leftovers. 6. Mushrooms. Why it's risky. Mushrooms are delicate and absorb moisture easily. When refrigerated, they may degrade over time. Reheating can change their protein structure. Reheated mushrooms may lose antioxidants. Some articles suggest compounds could become harmful over time, though rigorous human cancer-linked studies are limited. What to do instead? Store mushrooms in a paper bag or breathable container. Use within a few days. Reheat mushrooms once, to proper temperature. For long-term storage, consider freezing mushrooms after blanching. 7. Leafy greens. Nitrate-rich, like spinach. Why it's risky. Leafy greens contain nitrates. When stored improperly or reheated, these nitrates can convert to nitrites, and then to nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are potentially carcinogenic. Repeated reheating or prolonged storage increases this risk. What to do instead? Use leafy greens fresh whenever possible. If you must store them, wrap loosely in a paper towel and place in the fridge's crisper drawer. Use as soon as possible. Avoid reheating greens multiple times. 8. Soy products. Tofu. Soy milk. Why it's risky. Soy-based foods stored too long can attract bacteria, including Clostridium botulinum. There's also concern about nitrosamine formation in some processed soy foods, though direct evidence linking refrigerated soy to cancer is limited. Improper storage can lead to spoilage or toxin formation, posing broader health risks. What to do instead? For tofu, if unopened and shelf-stable, store outside the fridge. Once open, keep in fresh water, changing daily. Use within recommended days. For soy milk, follow use by dates. Once opened, refrigerate but consume within a few days. Always handle soy products with clean utensils. 9. Opened canned fish. Tuna, sardines. Why it's risky. Once open, fish is vulnerable to oxidation and microbial contamination. Although the link to cancer is speculative, longer storage can increase breakdown products and potential toxins. Histamines in fish may accumulate. Oil-based canned fish stored too long can oxidize, potentially forming harmful compounds. What to do instead? Transfer leftover fish to a clean, airtight container. Store in the coldest part of the fridge. Use within 1-2 days. If not finished quickly, consider freezing small portions. 10. Mayonnaise or cream-based sauces. Why it's risky. These sauces are rich and perishable. They support bacterial growth if not stored properly. repeated reheating, or poor safety can lead to toxins. In worst-case scenarios, homemade mayo could harbor Clostridium botulinum. What to do instead? Store sauces in clean, airtight jars. Label with the date. Use within a few days. Avoid reheating multiple times. Bonus tips to reduce cancer risk from food storage: regularly clean your fridge. Wipe spills and check for mold or spoiled food. Use an appliance thermometer to ensure fridge stays below 40 degrees Celsius. Avoid reheating foods multiple times. Use airtight, food-safe containers for leftovers. When in doubt, throw it out. A realistic perspective. How big is the risk? Words like cancer are scary, but the actual risk depends on dose and frequency. Any chemicals discussed, like acrylamide, are probable carcinogens, linked to cancer in lab studies, but evidence in humans is not always conclusive. According to the American Cancer Society, typical dietary exposure to acrylamide is not proven to cause cancer. Reducing exposure is considered a prudent precaution. Public health bodies recommend gentler cooking techniques and smarter storage. These are risk reduction strategies, not urgent panic flags. Conclusion: putting food in the fridge feels safe, and most of the time, it is. But for certain foods, refrigeration can increase the risk of forming harmful compounds, especially when foods are later cooked or reheated. Recap of best practices: store potatoes in a cool, dark place, not the fridge. Keep garlic and onions uncut in a ventilated space. Freeze bread rather than refrigerate. Cool rice fast. Reheat once. Discard if unsure. Use mushrooms, greens, and fish quickly, or freeze. Handle sauces carefully. Store properly. Avoid reheating repeatedly. Moderation and awareness are your strongest allies. Use what you need. Discard what you don't. Lean on safe storage habits, not fear. Stay informed. Stay safe. Take control of your food habits to support long-term health. Thanks for being here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.